All right, we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is up, everybody? Hope y'all having a great day today. Hope y'all working towards your goals, getting better each and every day, 1% better. That's the whole goal. We have got another podcast topic for y'all today, and today's podcast is about excuses and why you need to stop making excuses, because we all have them. We do. I admit I got excuses too, and I know you do too. But I'm gonna be the one to tell you those excuses that you're making is what's holding you back, what's stopping you from achieving your goals. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna stop making excuses right now. Go ahead, declare it in your mind right now. No more excuses. We getting it done. Whatever your goal is that you're trying to achieve right now. So we're gonna get into what are excuses, why do people make excuses, how to overcome some excuses. We're going to get some specific examples of some excuses and how people have overcome things like that. We're going to get into all things excuses, and we just going to keep it real. And the way I came out with this podcast topic is because just recently, a few days ago, I saw somebody doing something on their Snapchat story, and it kind of made me like happy. Like it made me proud. Sorry, my wife is making noises in the background. I thought something was wrong. But yeah, I saw something on my story that made me proud, made me kind of smile. You know, because I'm a fitness fanatic. I'm one of those people. And when I saw this, I was like, yeah, that's me as a dad. So this dude, he was running down the street with his baby in the stroller, and he was pushing his baby in the stroller. And the first thing that popped in my mind was like, that's the definition of no excuses. Like you get it done no matter what. Like you're not going to let that stop you. I know most people would just throw in the towel if they got to watch their kids, if they got to keep the kids for the day or whatever, if they're in charge of that time, they would just quit right then and there, and that would be it. But when I saw this guy doing this, I was like, heck yeah. Like that's what's up. That's what it should be about. Now, I'm not going to condone him running in the street with his baby. That's probably not the smartest thing to do. Probably not. He probably should have been on the sidewalk. Like that would have been safer than being in the road. Hopefully he was in a neighborhood where there's not a lot of cars that come through. Yeah, so I'm not saying run on the street with your kid, but it was a definition of no excuses. Like he got it done. He was going to run regardless. Obviously he was in charge of the kids at that time. So he said, I ain't gonna make no excuses. I'm gonna go get it done, even if I gotta watch the kids. So what did he do? He improvised. He literally put the baby in the stroller, pushed the stroller as he ran. He got it done no matter what. He made no excuses. So that's what kind of made me think of the podcast topic today. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into excuses and why we make them. So why are excuses keeping you from achieving your goals? And most importantly, how can you overcome those excuses? So we all know excuses are those silent like dream killers, those things that's killing your dreams in the background without you even realizing it. Your excuses, they're going to sound valid in the moment. Like in the moment, they sound good. Excuses sound good. But over time, they lead to regret, number one. They lead to stagnation, not moving forward. And they lead to unfulfilled potential. Like you're never going to fulfill your potential if you keep making all these excuses. So why do people make excuses? Well, one, they have a fear of failure. And that's just human. Like every human kind of has a fear of failure. We don't want to fail. We don't want to be a screw up. We don't want to have to take back what we said or anything like that. So many people use these excuses as kind of like a shield to avoid the possibility of failing. For example, I'm not ready yet, or I'll start when I have more experience. I'll start when it's the right time. I'll start when I don't have to watch the kids, things like that. Another reason people make excuses is the comfort zone trap. So excuses, they keep you in your comfort zone, period. You're never going to get out of your comfort zone if you're making excuses, ever. So saying things like, I'm too busy, it's not the right time. This is going to avoid that discomfort that you need in order to grow. So with growth comes change, and most of the time that change comes with discomfort, and that's just part of it. Like you got to work yourself through that. So when you make excuses, it helps you avoid that discomfort. Another reason is lack of clarity or motivation. Without a clear vision or strong why, it is easy to justify quitting. For instance, I don't see the point anymore, or it's too hard. So I'm gonna be the first one to say you're not always gonna have motivation. Period. Point blank. Period. We're not meant to always be motivated. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have peaks and valleys, ups and downs, highs and lows. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be motivated one day. You're not gonna be motivated the next. It's gonna happen. So you got to get clear. You got to get that clarity on what your goal is, what your reason is, what your why is, and that will help push you through on those days that you're not motivated. That on those days that you don't want to do it, you want to quit. That motivation's not there. That's why you got to get clear on what it is you're trying to do. And then another reason is just blame. You're blaming others. You're externalizing that blame. People like to blame their circumstances or others on why they can't achieve their goals. So, for example, my boss doesn't support me, or the economy is bad, or I'm not tall enough. Things like that. Like you're putting the blame on something else out of your control to avoid the discomfort. You're making excuses for other things. So that's kind of like why people make excuses. So some common excuses and how to overcome them. First excuse number one is I don't have enough time. Well, I hate to break it to you, but everyone in this world has the same exact 24 hours in their day that you have. The only difference is between you and somebody that has achieved the goal that you're trying to achieve is priority. They have made priorities in their time, in their life, and you haven't. Point blank, period. Like, I'm a 100% believer in you will make time for the things you care about or the things that you really want to do, that you're trying to do, that you're trying to achieve. Like, you will make time, period. You have the same 24 hours that everybody else has. So quit making excuses. I don't have enough time is not an excuse. Yeah, you probably have a job. Yeah, you probably have kids. But guess what? Jeff Bezos had a job. Jeff Bezos has kids. Any rich people, they all had jobs. They had kids. They were in the trenches. They did it too. They had the same 24 hours that you had. Point blank, period. So I don't have enough time. If that's what your excuse, then guess what? You got to make some time. No, I'm not saying you need to create a 25-hour day because that's not possible. I'm saying you need to cut other things out of your schedule and make time, period, because you got the same 24 hours everybody else got. So how can you do this? Track your time for a week. During that week, you need to identify time wasters. So things you're wasting time on. Social media, TV, whatever it is that you have to do a check on yourself, whatever's wasting time, and replace those things with actions or goals, objectives that's working towards your goal. Like that's focused on your goal, on taking action towards that goal, whatever that may be. Work on that goal somehow. Replace those things. Replace time wasters with more productive, positive things. And then break those goals into small daily tasks. Even if it's like a 15-minute thing, break it down. Every 15 minutes a day adds up. So if you, for example, on your way home from work and you're driving, but hey, guess what? You can listen to a podcast on whatever it is you're trying to get better at or learn more about. That's what I do. I like fitness. I like health. I like things like that. So what I do, I listen to podcasts about fitness, about health, about, I don't know, stock market, things like that. Like I like to listen to things so I can learn, so I can use that time wisely, because I can't do anything else really while I'm driving, but I can listen to something. So I like listening to podcasts, and that's what I do. That's how I learn. So that's an easy way you can knock out two birds with one stone. Basically, you're doing two things at once. So it's got to be efficient with your time, because honestly, 24 hours to me is not enough time in a day. Like I wish I had way more. I wish I had like 40 hours in a day. That would be great. I had plenty of time to do stuff. Excuse number 2, I'm not good enough. Well, no one starts as an expert, so therefore, no one is good enough. Skill is built through practice. It is built through repetition. It is built through days and days of being in the trenches. Hours of work, staying up late, waking up early, practicing each and every day. You probably heard the saying, and I don't remember exactly how it goes, about the martial arts. I forget how the saying goes, but it was like, don't be afraid of the person that's practiced 1,000 kicks one time. You need to be afraid of the person that's practiced one kick 1,000 times. I know that's not the exact saying, but it goes something like that. You get my point. He practiced that one thing 1,000 times. So he would be more dangerous than somebody that practiced 1,000 different kicks one time, because they wouldn't be good at them because they only did them one time. But that one guy that did that one kick 1,000 times, he's going to be pretty good at it. So practice makes perfect, obviously. Keep doing it. Nobody started out good. Nobody started out great. Nobody started out as an expert. They just put the time, the effort in, and they got better and they got good enough. So you have to adopt a growth mindset. You have to focus on progress, not perfection. Let me repeat that again. Focus on progress, not perfection. Get better each and every day, 1% better. You can also seek mentorship. This will help you get better. Take a course on whatever you're trying to do. Build those confidence and the skills in your area, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to achieve. Excuse number 3, I'm too old or I'm too young. Well, age is just a number. I know that's so cliche to say, but it's true. For example, Colonel Sanders started KFC when he was 65 years old. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, Mark Zuckerberg, he founded Facebook when he was 19 years old. So there's really no excuse for being too old or too young. There really ain't. You can do it at any age, especially with the technology that we have nowadays. Like you can do a lot of things at any age nowadays. So what you can do is focus on what you can do right now. Focus on what you can do today and don't focus on what you've missed in the past. Say you're older, don't worry about what you didn't do in the past. Worry about what you can do now. Or if you're younger, don't focus on like what you can do in the future, what you're going to be able to do in the future once you get some experience. Focus now. Like what can you do now? Start getting that experience today. So you got to use your age as an advantage. So if you're too old, guess what? You probably got a lot of experience in some field, some way. You got a lot of experience if you're older. Or if you're young, you may have a new, fresh perspective. You may have a different perspective on something. You may have a different way of doing something, different way of looking at something. So yeah, you can kind of use your age to your advantage, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Excuse number 4, I'm afraid of what others will think. This is the stupidest excuse, in my opinion. And honestly, this excuse used to hold me back when I was thinking about making content. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've always wanted to make content like my whole life. And I just started doing it like 2 years ago. And this excuse right here is what held me back for so long. And I really don't know why. But what I came to realize is that nobody cares. And nobody is paying attention to me. Like, honestly, nobody's really even listening to this podcast right now. But hey, guess what? I'm doing it. I'm still doing it. I'm getting it done. And if you are here, shout out to you for listening. I appreciate it. Leave me a like, subscribe if you would. I appreciate it. Thanks. But yeah, most people are too busy worrying about themselves. They're not worried about you. You may think they're looking at you, judging you, talking about you. I promise you they ain't. They too focused on themselves. They too focused on what they're going to be eating for dinner tonight or whatever. Like, they ain't worried about you. I promise. There's too much things going on in the world nowadays for people to care about you. They got other things going on in their life. And the one thing that really helped me get over this excuse is I had to understand this, that if anybody ever talks negative about you or says anything down on you or is, what's the word? They're critiquing you or like saying negative things about what you're doing, well, just know that those people are under you. They are under you. Nobody above you will ever talk down on you ever. Period. Point blank, period. They will not, because guess what? They're too busy grinding. They're too busy doing their own thing. They're too busy worried about their next steps. They're too busy working on what they're going to do or working on what the next goal is. Like they're doing their thing. They ain't got time to worry about people under them. So therefore, they would never take the time out of their day to say something negative about you. I promise you they ain't paying attention to you. They're looking in the future. Like what they going to do next? What's their next goal? What's the next thing they're going to invest in? What's the next project they're going to do? Like, they're not worried about you. The only people that are ever going to say something about you are people that are doing nothing with their life. They're sitting at home scrolling on social media. They're, I don't know, doing whatever. They got time. They got free time to be able to say stuff about you, to comment on your video or to say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? People under you are the only ones that ever say anything negative to you. If they're above you, they probably don't even see you. They don't even know you exist because they're out doing their own thing. Like, they're getting it. They're not, like, I can promise you, Tom Brady is not worried about what high school QBs are doing because they under him. But guess what? I bet there's a lot of high school QBs out there that talk trash about Tom Brady all the time. But guess what? He don't care because Tom Brady's Tom Brady. I mean, he's got like 7 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense. Nobody under you, I mean, nobody above you is worried about you. They ain't saying nothing negative. And honestly, they're probably more supportive. Like, they would probably support you because they've been through what you're trying to do. They've been through the trenches. They've gotten it out, and they see that, what you're doing, and they respect it. So they're not going to talk down on you, I promise you. They're actually probably going to lift you up. They're probably going to try to help you, give you advice and things like that. So anybody that's above you, try to get around those people. Try to involve yourself with those people because they're just going to help you grow. But If anybody's saying negative, just know that they underneath you, and if they're underneath you, then why do you care what they say? Like you shouldn't care what they say, what they think, what they believe if they're beneath you. And that's what helped me with this excuse number 4. Once I figured that out, I was like, yeah, you can leave whatever comment you want on my video. I really don't care. And trust me, I get random hate comments. I don't get them a lot because I'm not very big. Like I don't have a lot of views, but every now and then I will get them, especially in the fitness industry, because there's so much like controversy when it comes to fitness. So there's definitely some people out there that think they know everything and definitely leave some pretty hateful comments. But hey, it don't bother me no more. I know that they're sitting on the couch eating potato chips, doing nothing with their life. So it don't bother me. I take it for what it is. And honestly, when people comment on my stuff, it boosts me in the algorithm, so I like it. And I'll even like fight back with them. Not fight, but like I'll egg it on. Like I'll say something smart back or tell them they're wrong or something. That way it gets them to comment back again. And guess what? Now you're just triggering me in the algorithm and you get me more views. So shout out to you if you argue with me in the comments. I appreciate it. Excuse number 5. I've tried before and I failed. Well, reality check. Failure is part of the process. Every no gets you closer to a yes. Trust me, anybody that's ever done anything successful in their life has failed at some point. I mean, yeah, there may be one anomaly out there that wins everything they do. But think of most businesses, they all failed. I forget what the statistic is, but there's a statistic out there that most successful businesses had like 2 or 3 other businesses before they found that successful one. And I forget what the statistic is, but it's something like that. Like I forget what it is, but like most successful business owners, that business that they own now that's successful, that's more than likely was not their first business. They've probably failed at 2 or 3 other businesses before they found that one that worked. Or they've tried the same business and did it in different ways. They've tried different things until it finally worked. But yeah, failure is just part of your process. It's just another like stepping stone to figuring it out, to get to being successful. It's just a bump in the road that you got to overcome. And that's part of it. Like you're more than likely going to fail. Like you're probably going to fail. There's a 99.9% chance that whatever you're trying to do, you're going to fail at it. But you just got to know like that's part of it. Just because something happens and you don't win or you get a no or whatever, that don't mean you stop. That don't mean you lost. That don't mean you failed. That just means you learn from that, you grow, you get better, and you keep going. You figure it out, period. Analyze those failures. Like, research them. What did you do wrong? Why did you do it wrong? Why did you get a no? What did you say? How did you say it? And then learn from that and apply those lessons that you learn over time. Like, apply them to your business or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And eventually, that no will turn into a yes. So, section number 3, how to stay committed and avoid quitting. Well, the thing I always say, and I know y'all probably tired of me hearing me saying it, is set clear, specific goals. And a lot of this comes down, a lot of fitness stuff is goal related. So yeah, definitely set clear, specific goals. Whatever it is that you're trying to do. I'm not gonna get too into the weeds on setting goals. I've talked about it plenty of times. But another thing is to just break those goals down into smaller steps. Create you some accountability somehow. So my favorite accountability is just like having you a partner, somebody you do it with, somebody that's with you that you can hold each other accountable. That's a great way to create accountability. You can join a mastermind group. You can hire a coach. Obviously, coaches are great ways too. 1, because they know what they're doing, they have experience, and 2, because you're financially committed to that coach because you are paying them money. So when people pay, they pay attention. So if you paying money towards something, you're probably going to pay more attention to it. You're going to be more committed to it than if somebody was to just coach you for free. So that's why I like the coaching, because it financially attaches you to that coach and it makes you more committed. And then celebrate those small wins when you get them. Celebrate them 24 hours and then move on. And also you can visualize the outcome. You can picture yourself achieving that goal already. And then ask yourself, how will that feel? How will that feel when you achieve that goal? And then use that feeling as fuel to your fire. Use that feeling to keep you going, to keep you motivated. That's what you got to do. So some real life examples of overcoming excuses. This is just some generic examples that we can use. So example number 1 is the busy parent who wanted to get fit. So the excuse is, obviously, I don't have time to work out because you got kids. You got to take care of the kids. Well, what you can do, a solution to this, is just start doing 10-minute at-home workouts while your child is taking a nap, while your newborn's taking a nap. You may only have 10, 20, 30, maybe even an hour, but use that time to get you a good little workout in at home. And over time, let this routine build up and start being more consistent. You're gonna build consistency with that routine, and then guess what? When your kid gets older, you already have that routine built, and then you can start advancing it further. You can maybe go to a gym and work out, or something to that effect. So you got to use your time wisely. So if your kid's taking a nap, use that time, or if your kid goes to school, use that time. If they go to daycare, or maybe you can even hire a nanny, hire somebody to watch your kids. Take your kids to your grandparents' house, or to their grandparents' house, and let them watch them for a little bit, so you can work on your things. There's ways around it. You just gotta be creative. Be creative and create solutions for your problem. Example number 2: the aspiring entrepreneur who is afraid to start. So this was kind of me with my social media content. I don't have enough money. The excuse would be I don't have enough money or experience. So if you're trying to start a business, you may not have enough money to start that business. You may not have enough experience to start that business. Well, you just got to start small. You got to start with what you can afford. You got to start researching things for free, and this way you can develop experience. You may need to offer your time for free for experience back. You may need to shadow with somebody. You may need to try to get somebody to mentor you, and things like that. A lot of people will do this for free. A lot of people will mentor you for free, or if you need to hire a coach, you can. So there's ways around it. So the solution is just start small. Launch a side hustle on the weekends. Start doing whatever it is you're trying to do. Do it for free, or do it on the weekends or something else to create you some revenue, to make that where you can make more money on the weekends, so you can reinvest it back into your business or whatever you're trying to achieve, to get you going, to get you started. You may even have to take a loan out, and that may be something you can do if you want to go that route. That's a risky route, but if you believe in yourself, then hey, you're going to pay it back, so you're good. So yeah, there's definitely ways to overcome the no money or the no experience. No experience is definitely not an excuse, because you can get experience nowadays relatively free or cheap. Now, if you need a lot of overhead, like if it's going to be very expensive to do what you're trying to do, now that's another thing. You may have to come up with some money some other way. Example number 3: the writer who kept procrastinating. So this is definitely not me, because I can't write to save my life. But yeah, excuses, I'm not a good enough writer. Well, what you can do to overcome you not being a good enough writer is you can commit to writing 200 words a day, every single day. And eventually, like, that 200 words will lead up to you writing your first book, or you getting more experience, or you publishing like some article or something. This is a great way for you to just get experience, and that way you don't have to be overwhelmed with the idea of writing a whole book. You just say, "Hey, I just got to write 200 words. That's not much. 200 words, I can do that." And then over time, over years of consistency of doing this, you're gonna get pretty good. I mean, if you write 200 words every single day, eventually you're just gonna get good at writing. Like, you're gonna get good at it just from doing it, repetition, practice. And then you can also join like a group and ask them for your feedback, or if you have a friend or your spouse, somebody, let them read it, get their feedback, and then you can use that feedback to make it better the next day. So that's another example. So that's making excuses in a wrap. So let me ask you this. What's one excuse that you've been telling yourself? I want you to think about it right now. What's one excuse? Identify that excuse. Challenge that excuse. Like, why are you making this excuse? And then what you want to do is take one small step today on a way you can overcome that excuse, a way you can move past that excuse. So what are you trying to do right now? What's your goal? It may be fitness, maybe losing 10 pounds, it may be gaining muscle on your bench press, maybe a job promotion, and maybe taking care of your kids. I don't know, maybe something like that. So what is the problem? What's the excuse that you're making towards the problem? Just identify that and then challenge it. So why are you making this excuse? What's holding me back? Why can I not overcome this excuse? And then think of ways, how can I overcome this excuse? What can I do today to overcome it, to get past it? So that's my call to action for y'all today. That's my challenge for y'all. Do something. If not today, this week. Do it this week and start working towards your goals. So we all know that excuses are easy, but they're going to cost you your dream, your goal, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So the hard work of overcoming these excuses is worth it. I promise you. Because once you get on the other side, once you get on that success side, you're going to be able to live the life you want, the life that you've aspired to be, that you set out to be, the goals that you wanted to achieve. So yeah, I just think in today's day and age, society is we're soft. I'm just gonna say it how it is. We're soft. We are, and I think it's due to things are becoming more easy for us to do. So, in what I'm referring to is technology. Like technology has made us soft. Point blank. Period. Has made us soft because everything is easy to do now because we got technology to do it for us. We don't have to. We don't really have to work that hard. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some physical labor jobs out there that you still work hard. I'm not. I work in construction. I see dudes grinding their butt off every single day out there in the field. I'm not talking about them people, but as a whole, as society, we just become soft. And I'm not. That's not any of our faults. It's just we have technology doing everything for us, so it's made us soft. And with that, with us being soft, it has made us to create these excuses all the time, and they just are going above and beyond. So I'm here to break that barrier. We ain't making excuses no more. We get it done, or at least we gonna try to get it done. I'm trying to help y'all get it done. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I think people don't believe in themselves enough. Like this makes me so mad because all right, I'm going off on a tangent now, but it makes me so mad because people don't realize their potential. They really don't. Like people don't realize what they can or could achieve. And this makes me mad. This is one of the reasons I do all these crazy endurance events that I've been doing lately. Like I did the Ironman, I did the bodybuilding show. Now I'm doing an ultra marathon. And the reason I do these is, I mean, there's several reasons I do them, but one of the reasons I do it is because I want to see what I'm capable of. Like I want to push myself out of my comfort zone to see what I'm capable of. Because you never really know what you're capable of until you push yourself a little bit, until you get out of your comfort zone, until you push yourself past that comfort zone. You don't know. Like honestly, I don't think I can run 100 miles. I really don't. Like I'm scared to death to do this race. The longest I ran Sunday, I ran 18 miles. That's the longest I've ran. So guess what? 100 miles is still, what's that math? 78 more miles? No, 82 more miles I got to run than what I ran Sunday. So it absolutely terrifies me to do this. And that's the reason I do it. That's exactly why I do it. I don't think I can do it. But guess what? When on April 12th, when my race is, I'm going to prove to myself that I can do it. And that's why I do these challenges. That's why they've progressively gotten harder, in my opinion, because I've never done anything like it. And I don't know if I can do it. So guess what? I'm going to train for it. I'm going to practice it. And I'm going to see if I can do it. And if I fail, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do this 100-mile race until I complete it. Like I'm not going to just do one and quit. I'm going to do it again. If I fail, I'm going to do another one this year. And if I fail that one, I'm going to do another one next year until I complete it. Point blank period. I'm going to run 100 miles. It may not be April 12th. It may be another day, but I'm going to do it. And that's a fact. I'm telling you right now. And I wish other people would realize this in themselves. Like I wish they would realize that they can do these things. They just, when things start to get hard, when things start to get tough, they fold and they quit and they make excuses for why they can't do it. But if you would just push through a little bit, have a little intestinal fortitude about you, you would be able to push through and do it. And I want people to realize this. I want people to wake up and know that, hey, you can do these hard things. You can do it. And yes, I said hard because it's going to be hard. A lot of these things that we want to do, these great things we want to accomplish, they're going to be hard. They're not going to be easy. You always hear the saying, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Well, that's so true. Like, that's true. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And honestly, it wouldn't be a goal that you want to achieve then because it would be easy. I mean, goals are, for the most part, they're hard. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. You're going to want to quit. You're going to want to give up. And that's when you find out your true character. That's when you find out about yourself, what you're really made of. Are you going to sit down? Are you going to fold? Are you going to quit? Or are you going to keep going? You're going to keep pushing. So I don't know what you're going to do. Ask yourself that. When things get hard, what you going to do? I know there's a goal out there that you've tried to achieve that you failed at. Trust me, I've done it too. I'm not perfect. I failed at goals. I've done a lot of things. But hey, I'm always pivoting. I'm always trying new things and trying to figure out what I'm capable of because I want to push myself. Because honestly, I think there's a lot of things out there that I could or can achieve that I never thought I could achieve. You know what I'm saying? I've always, like, one of my biggest goals in life is I want to own my own business. Like as I was a kid, I always want to own my own business. I don't even know what kind of business I want to own. I really don't. Like I don't have anything in mind. But one day, probably I'm gonna own one. Like one day, I don't know what it's gonna be. Probably related to fitness in some way. Like my dream goal would be to own my own gym. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll go from there. Yeah, I just want to speak some life into you a little bit and say, hey, you can do it. I believe in it. I believe in you that you can. Whatever that goal is you're trying to do. If you're trying to lose 100 pounds, you can do it. I promise you can. You just have to take the proper steps in order to get there. Or if you want to run a marathon, you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. You just gotta believe in it. Or even if you don't believe in it, start training for it. Push yourself a little bit, and the better you get at it, the more you'll start to believe it. So that's my spiel. I know I went off on a little tangent there, but hey, we need to hear. So yeah, y'all let me know what your goal is. Let me know what your goal is so I can hold you accountable. I just told y'all what my goal is. It's to run 100 miles. So y'all hold me accountable. Y'all don't let me slack off. I need y'all to hold me accountable as well. I'm not perfect. There's days I definitely don't want to run. Like in the morning, I got to run 2 hours in the morning before I got to go to work. I don't want to do that. I'll just be honest. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to go run for 2 hours and then I'm going to go to work. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Y'all have a great day. Tune in next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast. Subscribe, leave a review. I appreciate it. Peace, love, protein. We out.